I have come to the realization that my beliefs about modern medicine and about health were broken. And that's being that we're emotional beings. My emotion at that time was like, oh, hell no. Like, no one's going to tell me that I'm going to die after 10 years after my partner dies. Like, all these things where I was just like, why are we not questioning more things when it comes to health? Why aren't we like asking questions of like, hey, does that make you feel funny when you eat that, or does that like make your stomach upset, or do you feel bloated? And for me, I was like, I was like, okay, well, let me more into these things. Let me look more into health and wellness. Let me understand this a little bit more, because health is wealth, and it starts with us being a healthier version of ourselves, because we know, and I'm sure that we can agree, that when we get sick, we don't feel like doing anything. We don't feel like hanging out. We don't feel like partying, like doing
I
like,
get depressed when I'm sick, actually. I
yeah,
feel real down.
yes. Like it brings you to a lower state of, I guess, frequency. It brings you down a little bit. We don't feel like at our most optimal level when we feel sick. We tend to feel drained, tired. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just start questioning things when it comes to health. Let me just be open-minded. And one of the things that, if we can segue this way, as to like, doing what I do now, if that's okay, if we can segue.
Yeah, listen. You're share your truth, man. It's all good.
I'm sharing. I'm like, here we go. Okay.
Wait, hold on. No, wait. Before we go there,
Yes.
I have to ask you a question though. Before we go there, because I want to know about this. Because I'm at the health tip, and I know which direction you're going.
Yeah.
We've had conversations about this, and I'm just learning about these things, so I have questions to pick your brain.
Absolutely.
But before we go there, with your two questions, all right,
Okay.
and I'll ask them separate.
Yeah.
For someone who's listening that's in the grips of the party life, or we'll call it addiction, or we'll call it whatever it is. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to label your situation. I'm just going to use the term you use, party life.
Right.
But let's say party life, or if someone's there might be someone who's just strung out to the extreme or whatever. What advice could you give someone like that, or would you say for someone like that, or even to yourself? Like right now, if you could get your old self, that I don't say girl, young woman in that situation,
Yeah.
what would you tell her to get out of it? Looking back in retrospect, like, or just advice, or you know what I'm saying? Because I know there's people that are in that right now, and it doesn't even have to necessarily be drugs. It could be food, it could be anything, and it's just a vicious cycle, and they're just lost in the sauce, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say? Someone's coming to you for help, or your old you imagines coming to you like, help me. How do I navigate this? How do I get out of this?
I would ask them, what are they currently doing for themselves? So is that just something that they're always doing? So I'm assuming yes. So say they say yes, like, yeah, like I'm deep into this right now. I don't know how to get out. I'd be like, okay, are you open to me sharing with you what I think could help? Yes, that's why I'm coming to you. Okay, awesome. I think what we should do is we should start going for a walk outside. I think we should start there. What do you mean? I think that's where we should start. Keep it simple. Go for a walk outside. And while we're going for a walk, I want you to make note of everything that you find beautiful, things that stand out to you. And it could be the most random thing. Let's start there. And let's start doing that when we can. And then let's take it to the morning time. There's just something about the morning time for me that really just elevates.
Oh, there's some actually scientific stuff about the morning time.
Oh, I can only imagine. I love the morning time. That's my favorite time of day. There's nothing like morning time for me when I'm just like, I see the sunrise. I'm like, oh, pure bliss.
If you get a chance, when you have time, research or Google the rays that come from I don't know how to word this.
Yeah.
But the rays that come from the sun between the sunrise till about, I think, 11:30 a.m. on our skin and into our eyes,
Yes.
it does something with our brains.
Yes, it sets our circadian rhythm.
Okay, so yeah, you're aware. Yeah.
And so if for some of the people that follow me on Instagram, I'll put like going outside and like my like the sun getting in my eyes, and I have so many people be like, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Go outside and put some sun in your eyes. Like, tell me that you don't feel a little bit better." They're like, "I can't even open my eyes." I'm like, "Okay, well, don't look directly at the sun, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, you don't want to do
You
that.
don't want
Burn
to
your
do
retina.
that." But yeah, it's
There's always that one, right?
always
You
that
said look
one.
at the sun.
I'm just like, okay, you didn't have to take me so literally. But going back to what I would recommend for people going through it right now, start out with something small. For me, it started putting myself outside, going for walks, jogging, putting myself in tough workouts. I was like, man, this is gonna suck right now, but I know I gotta do it. I know I gotta do it. Sweat it out. Like start to detox yourself, detox your body, and find good people that you can talk about this with. That is so powerful. To think that we can go through something alone, I think is it's not, what's the word I'm looking for? To think that we need to go through something alone, I think is a belief that should be like wiped to the side. Like we're meant to go through things with people who are meant to help us, as well as being the person to help somebody as well. Because again, going back to asking someone like, hey, like, can you help me? Like if I were to be like, hey, can you help me with this? I know you would be like, absolutely, of course, you know? But when you legitimately ask somebody that you love and that you trust, like, hey, can you help me with this? Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. And if they won't, then hey, that's okay. I just wanted to ask. I'm in a tough place right now. I'm open minded. Like what should I do? You know? And that's always my piece of advice, is start out small and build off of that.
Is it safe to say that by going outside and doing the things you're saying, are you saying like um in a roundabout, not a roundabout way, but is it
Mm-hmm.
another way of saying learning to be present in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're outside, it's just there's no outer stimulation. You're there. You're the sun. You're feeling the sun on your skin. That's being present in your body, present in your mind, being there at that moment. You're not in your head of, oh man, I can't wait till later today or whatever your distractions are.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Be present in the moment and remove ourselves from a box. You know, put yourself outside and be present. Like see what's going on around you, and maybe go somewhere where it's a little more quiet, maybe away from traffic if you can. If you can avoid something like that. Or maybe that's something that feeds you and you like seeing a bunch of cars, a bunch of people walking around, whatever is stimulating to you naturally, that you naturally enjoy. And I think that is the fun and the journey of that, is that now you can find things that really pique your interest. And for someone who's more adapted to the city life and loves to see people, cars, being that, for some people that's super peaceful for them. Not so much for me. So for me, I'm like, I want to go outside. I want to observe nature. I want to see the sunrise in the morning time. Like things for me that are now like a non negotiable of like if I'm feeling low or feeling something, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take myself outside. I'm going to
Yeah.
go for a walk. Sometimes I'll listen to music. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just walking around. And now I try to just make it a point to connect with somebody as well. Like, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? If I'm going for a jog, I make it a point to high five everybody that passes by. And if they don't high five me, that's cool.
That's all good. They're lost. You
They're
missed that awesome high five. You're missing out.
but it's a good energy transference of like, yeah, we're doing this, you know? And like people have been like really into that. I'm just like, hell yeah, like we're freaking running right now, you know? So
It's
yeah.
interesting you saying around being around people
Yes.
because being around people, think about prison. You're in prison, but you're limited to who you can be around. Those are other inmates, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And if they really want to punish you, They put you in isolation. You can't be around anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the worst thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're social creatures.
Yes.
So we need to go back to our roots on that. And okay, and the other question is losing both your parents, especially your dad. That
Mm-hmm.
I'm I can only imagine the pain, especially when it's so close together. To like, I'm barely coming up for air, and I'm then another parent's gone.
Yeah.
Who's someone who's experiencing loss like that,
Mm-hmm.
or what advice would you give them, or words of hope? Do you have like a thinking framework that you came up with, or something that kind of scaffolding mentally to make it through those tough times?
Mm. When it comes to experiencing loss, is what you're asking me.
Yeah, or like how you. I mean, that's to me. That's um, I'm trying to think of nice words to say, just gentle words, but I mean, just to be blunt,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's like worst case scenario. Both parents so close together like that, and
Oh yeah.
and then the fact that these they're my world.
Yeah.
Like this is home base, and so to lose that, um, like if you put yourself in the mindset, say your dad passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're still were you still I'm just I don't know, were you still grieving your dad when your mom passed away? Yes. I'll say boom, mom passed away. Funeral, because you got to go through all that preparation. The next day you wake up. How how do you pull I think I talked to you about before on the mat. How do you pull up? What did you do to pull up to just gain altitude in life? Try not to nosedive into a
Into
dark place.
the depths of my despair.
Yes.
Mm. I think for me, um, making sure I stick to a routine of some sort. Now, for me, what's essential is a morning routine. Having some form of discipline because I know emotions are high and I know my productivity levels are going to not be so great. And so I know that I'm in a tough spot mentally, and so sharing that with friends, with the family members, crying it out, letting it out. But at some point, and this is just from my own personal thinking, at some point we have to not forget, but we have to move forward. And giving myself a set time frame, like there's still moments where I get really upset, I get sad about it. I allow myself to feel that emotion because I'm trying not to escape my emotions. I'm trying to feel them as they come and allow myself to feel that. But to know that, like anything, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And I always like to say start small. So for me, it was essential to have like a morning routine. So to walk you through it, to wake up in the morning time. I'm like, okay, first thing is wake up. So I cross it off my list. Second thing, drink some water,
You are so
take
organized.
some vitamins. Now, so maybe more so now, but I mean, I have my schedule here and I do the same thing every single morning and it just sets me right. So I wake up, cross that off. I woke up today. God gave me another chance. So I'm here. Hey, water.
Word.
You know what I mean? Water, vitamins, breathing, reflecting, sitting in the sun. And then now I started incorporating Spanish in my morning time because I'm like, I need to challenge that part of my brain of learning a different
You're like
language
me. I'm always trying to learn
fluently.
something.
Always trying to learn something, trying to keep like the good stuff flowing up here. I also listen to Audible or like an Audible right when I wake up, or I listen. Lately, it's been not Audible, but YouTube, like Jim Rohn. I've been listening to a lot of him in the morning time because the morning time is the most essential part of the day because that's when your brain is so receptive to outside environment. So I'm like, let me just create an environment for myself that brings me peace, that brings me sanity, and go through my day. And everything else is kind of, it builds up. So for me, I didn't go to jujitsu for a while. And I was like, okay, I was like, I gotta take some time and come back when I'm ready because if I go back and I'm still not good, then I'm going to start crying on the mats. I'm not going to feel good. But I came back when I felt
I've
like I was
done that.
ready, right? Like it's sometimes we got to take a step back and like jiu-jitsu is a hobby for me. It's a passion of mine. I'm going to do it for the rest of my life, but I was like, I just need to take some time away from this
Of
right now,
course, of course.
you know? And it took me a while to get back into that. It took me a while to start wanting to hang out with other people. It took me a while to be so present at work. And it took me a while to be present in like my community of people that I build with. Like it took me a while. And what I've learned is to share when you're not feeling okay, that's okay. Just letting somebody know, hey, you know, Kenny, I'm not feeling like super great today, and I just wanted to let you know, like, I'm gonna go for a walk outside. I'm just and like maybe if you can, if you feel like you can, like maybe give me a call later and just check in on me. That was so hard for me to do. And then when I was given permission to do that, now when I'm feeling some type of way, I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling so great. Is it okay if I call you and just I don't want to dump on you, but share how I'm feeling. And I'm learning like those kinds of people, like who I can talk to. And again, like it's been filtered and like circle gets a little bit smaller, but
Isn't it
it's so
interesting that
essential.
you like the real friends come out the woodwork?
Yes.
I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's absolutely true. Like, I don't like how Heather, man, she's kind of a downer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on, and they just for whatever reason, maybe they can't handle that intimate level of relationship, friend, platonic. I mean,
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, some people can't handle that. It's that's. Can you mind if I throw out some advice here,
Sure.
or just suggestions?
Of
One,
course.
have you heard of the philosopher Rumi? Rumi.
Mm-mm.
If you get a chance, look him up. He's an ancient philosopher, but he writes these little excerpts. Like sometimes it's just like a short little 5 sentence paragraph, just a few lines, and but they're very deep. I mean, they're just ultra refined. And you'll like when you're hurting or grieving or feeling sad, you can actually read one of them and be like, oh, it speaks to your soul. I'll send you one.
Please
I'll
do.
send you
Yeah.
one. But yeah, his name's Rumi.
Okay.
And the other thing too, just suggesting, not trying to Bible thump you, but just to thump you. No, I'm just kidding. But to
Right.
just to share, for me, I think one of the greatest things, because I went through a lot of trauma and things. I wasn't raised religious,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was just kind of navigating and creating my own things. I heard, well, maybe if I don't step on cracks, throw some salt over my shoulder, get some, knock on wood, just different traditions that are passed down. But I really made it a point. I got to a point where I went on a journey. I said, you know what, God, if you exist, sh- sh- put me on the path I'm supposed to be on. And I challenged God to that, and He did. And I'm talking, and every path. I'm not just talking spiritual. I'm talking friendships, uh, relationships, business, just everything. Sometimes I would recommend, because I believe that you believe in God. I would call God in your prayer and say, God, listen, because our thinking is not God's. Like some people are always trying. You got a lot of these atheists, like, well, if there was a God, would He make a rock so heavy you can't pick it up? And they start doing. If you're on the same intellectual level as your Creator or God, they would cease to be God. And that's just how it works. It just it blows the concept away. You'd
Mm-hmm.
have to accept the fact that they're smarter than you. If they made you, they're smarter than you. Or if they made everything, they're smarter than you. But I would recommend, just calling God on that, and you don't have to do a certain special way. Just I think the only thing would be a sincerity, because I literally went all over the place. From I read Buddhism to Jehovah's Witness to Scientology, and God will bring you about to the path you're supposed to be on. And I kid you not, when you're truly connected like that, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding. Like, it's just, you feel safe. You feel safe in this chaotic world, and you don't feel alone anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so I just wanted to share that. Look, you know, I'm a resource. I'm always an open resource if you want. I know you're busy out
Yeah.
there getting your hustle on.
Hustle
It's
on.
hard out here for a pimp. You know, I know you're out there getting it on. Just, you know, no, but seriously
Always.
though, you're very, I know you're an entrepreneur. I've seen your social media and you're putting out very good content, which I want to ask you about now, if you don't
Absolutely.
mind.
Yeah.
So I recently started learning about hydrogen water and ionized. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Ionized?
Ionized water. Uh-huh.
Ionized water. And the way that I learned about these, and plus Brown's gas. I don't know if you heard of that one. Brown's
No,
gas.
not yet.
It's 66% hydrogen. I mean 66% oxygen, 33% hydrogen.
Interesting.
And it has benefits. All the stuff could be infused in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It could be infused. These are and there's a lot of clinical studies on these, the National Institute of Health and so forth. But I was going to ask you, because I know that you teach a lot of people about the health benefits of what they consume and put in their body, and especially when it comes to hydration and water.
Mm-hmm.
And can you explain to me, if you don't mind, the benefits? Because I've read, like, there's, like, I didn't know that. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, through your mouth into your gut, it's right into your body, your system. The
Yeah.
same way if you ate uh, poisoned food, like food, not poison, like someone put something in it, but like wasn't prep right, it's going to shut your body down.
Yeah.
Or I do jujitsu. I take supplements after I work out to recover, and I can feel it. Like, it goes into your gut, crosses over through, gets absorbed. How does certain types of water, or and please explain the water types. How does that affect, or how does that help? You know, with health.
That's a great question. So there's a lot of components when it comes to understanding water, but what I teach is understanding the simple ways to understand water. So the first one, like understanding alkalinity, understanding that that's not the huge indicator of your water, but that's a big determining factor, because in testing for alkalinity, you test for potential hydrogen. What we know to be true about hydrogen is that hydrogen for us is the strongest antioxidant. It supersedes green tea, it supersedes cod liver oil, it supersedes everything.
Acai. Don't tell the Brazilians.
Acai.
Don't tell. Oh, that's a sin.
I know. I'm so sorry. I had to bring it here. I had to bring it.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Spoiler alert. Yes, like it supersedes like 5 pounds of blueberries. Like, that's essentially what this glass of water equates to, is 5 pounds of blueberries. And I'm like, I don't want to eat 5 pounds of blueberries, but
Yeah, that might not end well.
right. Like, so I was like, okay, so let me just know a little bit more about this water. Okay, like the hydrogen in it, like that's great. Like, what is it doing? What does an antioxidant really do? And I mean, what does an antioxidant really do in our body?
Are you quizzing me right now?
I'm quizzing you right now.
Antioxidant. It doesn't. Well, it might prevent, but it stops the oxidation of first free radicals in our body. It breaks those down, but also oxidation,
Yes.
which is a health condition that I'm actually kind of dealing with. Is certain parts of my body got over oxidized because of I have a heart condition, which I found out about like last summer. It's a long story,
Mm-hmm.
but it caused some damage. And one of the part of my rehabilitation process is hydrogen water. But I take it a step further too. I drink it, but I'm also inhaling it. You know.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, that's different. I
Hey,
haven't
it's
heard.
always better when you smoke it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I mean,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
okay, like I'm not gonna knock it until I try it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, I mean,
It's just another pathway of entry. That's all it
Yes.
is, and it's just. I'll send you a video on it. But the
got so much
the
to send me.
drinking, because you and I train a lot.
yeah.
I mean, you don't train as much as me because I'm a savage, but you're close. I'll call you a baby savage.
Oh, I mean,
And-
honestly,
no,
it's
I'm
true.
kidding. No, I'm kidding.
It's true
No,
right
it's
now.
not. No, it's. But we drink a lot of water,
Yeah.
and we're supposed to drink a lot of water, and it's very important. Like, people don't realize that our body's mostly made of water, and we have to consume a lot of it, right? Like, I don't mean to put you on the spot.
None at
I don't
all.
know if you know this number, but how much water is recommended to consume a day? Is it like? Because I'll drink like a gallon. At least.
It
And people look at me, I'm crazy when I say that. I go, dude,
not at all.
I'll
It just depends on the kind of water that you're drinking, how much you're actually able to receive. Because someone who says they drink 2 gallons a day and they're only able to absorb maybe that much in the 2 gallons,
8 ounces.
because
I'm gonna say 8 ounces for those of you who are listening.
8 ounces, right? Like 8 ounces of water is what you're supposed to consume, but it varies with everybody, and it depends on the kind of water that you're drinking, because sometimes people will feel dehydrated when they drink their water. Maybe they feel bloated. Like in drinking certain kinds of water, maybe before you got introduced to the hydrogen water, did you ever feel bloated when you drank water?
Are you saying I look bloated right now? Is that what you're trying to allude to?
No, I'm saying you
Because
look
I'm
great
very
now.
insecure. I'm very insecure.
Well, this
No.
for a reason.
um, yeah, I know I had a problem with water absorption, and
Yeah.
I've learned a few tricks around it. Um, uh, the first trick was I take trace minerals because sometimes the water is lacking minerals that I need to absorb absorb the water or to
Correct.
take it on. And sometimes I'm drinking too much too quickly,
Yes.
where I'll like, oh yeah, I got to get my some people do this. Oh, I got to get this many ounces in today, so they're slamming it,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're just gonna pee it out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like your body really didn't get the hydration from it,
Yes.
So, but yes, I'm very sensitive to salt, so
Okay.
I have drinking stuff that is bloated, but and that has made me feel bloated. I could tell the difference between different types of water, no joke. Blindfolded, like taste testing,
Yeah.
because I'm just sensitive to water like that, and I use a very complex filtration system.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will should go into it. It's very
I'm like, you can expand if you'd like.
well. I mean, it's 11 stage, but it's 11 stage filter. I even have a mobile unit that I travel with, and I have to check it in now because if I carry it, they will stop me, think it's a bomb. I kid you not. They'll wipe it down,
Right.
check me out. It could plug into anything, and I have a tester that tests particles and all this other stuff afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the water filter itself, it has a reverse osmosis filter. Um, I mean, there's so many stages too, but it even has lodestones in it. You know what lodestones are?
No.
Lodestones are rocks that are naturally magnetized. They're magnets, but it's usually from like lightning striking the earth, and
Yes.
creates lodestones.
Okay.
And so what it does is the 11 stages mimics what happens when rain hits the soil and it works through the different layers of the earth. And so by the time it gets through, it's like well water. It's very, very clean. Like I can't, yeah. So I do that, and I don't drink out of plastic. I drink out of metals because of the BPAs and the other endocrine system disrupting chemicals that are in there. And now we're starting to learn. It's actually on the news now. So today is April 10th of 2024. You can actually look on the news, and you'll see that there's these forever chemicals that are now found in water and in our drinking supply.
Yes.
And these are not getting filtered out through
No.
the public utilities. They're getting rid of the big stuff. And a lot of it comes from what do you call it? PFAs or like nonstick.
Yeah.
Or what is it?
PFAS.
PFAS, yes. And so my filter takes it all out and certified to take all that stuff out. So, but it doesn't put hydrogen in the water, and it doesn't do those other things. So that's something that I'm currently trying to expand into because I'm in the body hacking. I love optimizing because I use my brain so much. And not that I'm a genius, I'm far from it, but it's mental clarity is so valuable because you can multitask as much as possible. I'm not good at that, but you can. It just makes you better at everything. Even experience the sunrise. If you're present, your mind's clear. It's so much better.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know what question I was answering. That I just vomited all that information out. But I know that you talk about the hydrogen. I know the hydrogen that's in the water
Yes.
it's aerated in there. Is that correct? Or do you know that part? Is it aerated to get the water like because you could take regular water and turn it into hydrogenated water, right? How does that done? Do you know how that's done?
So when it goes through this particular system, what happens is that it hits titanium plates Titanium plates, kind of along the same lines of what your system does. What it does is it activates the hydrogen and it makes it so hyperactive that the base of the water becomes supercharged. And in drinking that, because I have heard a lot of people say that they add minerals to their water and that they really like the taste of it and whatnot. And they're like, is that something that's good, that's beneficial for me? And I'm like, do you feel like it is? Do you feel like it's already beneficial for you? And some people were like, oh, well, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, if you're curious, then maybe there's something that you're lacking. Is it okay if I offer you some of my insight? And they're like, yeah, of course. I'm like, the base of your water matters. We know that water is H2O, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making the hydrogen so active, so bioavailable, what we know when it comes to water is the way that water clusters matters. And why does it matter? Because the way that it clusters, if it's clustering in big chunks, we tend to feel bloated when we drink this water because we're not actually absorbing it. When you make the hydrogen so active, it becomes so bioavailable for our cells to be able to take on, to detox, to give us the benefits that we're looking for, good circulation within the body. That's when you start to see the benefits. And if you want to add stuff to it after, you can. But again, going back to hydrogen being the strongest antioxidant that we could consume, you can add minerals if you'd like, but it does its job in doing what it was always meant to do, which is giving our body the most optimal level of functioning, not because of the water itself, but because it's clean, it's pristine, and it does what it says it's going to do. Also, to touch base on with what I particularly, I guess you could say, sell, but what I share when it comes to this is that this is Japanese equipment. It's Japanese medical equipment. It was originally used in Japanese hospitals. And for people who aren't familiar with Japanese culture, they are very dead set on when we make something, we make it right the first time. And if it's not right, then we don't sell it. We don't share it with our people because they actually care when it comes to helping their kinds of people being able to take themselves out of a bad sense of health. And so, I mean, I could go into like the history and whatnot of this.
Japanese though, that is legit because you could tell by the manufacturing of their cars.
Correct.
And I remember the CEO years ago of Toyota said the difference between Americans, besides Americans being lazy, this is their words, not mine.
Yeah.
They take a lot of pride in their work. You know, it's honor. There's a lot of honor in it. It's almost like if you baked cookies, you want those cookies to be good. You don't want people like, who the hell made these cookies? Who brought these to the potluck? You know, they're that way. So, but with the hydrogen and water,
Yes.
the system, like the systems that you deal with,
Mm-hmm.
do they only do hydrogen or does it do different types of things to the manipulation to the water?
So that's a great question.
Wait, hold on real quick. I'm sorry, I just
Yes.
thought of something that I was going to say earlier too.
Okay.
Because I was holding my question. I didn't interrupt you.
Okay.
I think what it does, this could be wrong,
Okay.
but water is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen, H2O. So you have, I think and the molecule is shaped like an L, where you have hydrogen on the ends of the L, and right where the 2 points meet, like that little bend, that what is that, a 45? 45. That's where the oxygen is. That's how it looks like. Think on a molecular scale thing. When it's put to the process to get freed up for easier. I'm getting too close to the mic. Easier digestion, or absorption. What it does is it stays the same chemically. It's still H2O, but the hydrogen cell, instead of being shaped like an L, it attaches to the other side. So it's a straight line with hydrogen, oxygen, then hydrogen at the end, and our body absorbs that easier that way as opposed to the other way because it's literally chunky.
Yeah.
It's like a little chubby baby.
Yep.
And what you do is you streamline it
Yes.
through this hydrogen process. I could be wrong, but that's off my research. But I haven't researched a lot, but I'm just weird like that where I just go that damn far. And not that it even changes anything about the effectiveness of what it does, because
Right.
the place that I go to is called the Training Lab in Yorba Linda, California. It's a medical treatment facility and recovery place for athletes. And that hydrogen water that you're talking about, your systems,
Yeah.
what they use that to for people to help recover not just from diseases, but they also have numerous pro athletes from UFC fighters, Olympians, entire
Mhm.
collegiate wrestling teams
Yes.
using hydrogenated water. And then in addition to the tests run by the National Institute of Health, you can look online. This is like our U.S. government aggregating all these studies and doing double-blind placebo tests to see if it works. It's there, and it's crazy because a lot of people don't know about this. I didn't know about
Yes.
this, and I consider myself a health nut to some degree. It's like it's hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
It's hitting in plain sight, and I don't know why. I have theories. I don't want to go in the rabbit hole of the deep state in my tinfoil hat and the Earth's flat. I don't think the Earth's flat, but um, I've seen it firsthand work on so many people, and that's why I'm sold. I'm just a researcher, and I have not a researcher, but I have to be well informed. But with your case, like of you in your own life, because I know you're training a lot,
Yeah.
and I've seen you a sweaty mess.
Oh yeah.
Not a sweaty mess, a sweaty masterpiece.
There we go.
A sweaty masterpiece.
There we go.
How does it affect you with your exercise? Can you tell a difference in recovery or anything like that? Like or any kind of benefit, the benefits that you've experienced. Can you share some of those?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question. For me personally, one of the first things I noticed was, ladies, like, we tend to get a period every month, most of us. And for me, I grew up with debilitating cramps. I grew up where I had to take a lot of ibuprofen. I had to have a heating pad, and I would sometimes throw up
Oh,
because it was just so intense. And it wasn't until it was like, oh, it wasn't until, but legitimately, like, it wasn't until I started drinking the water. I thought it was placebo in the beginning. I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't feel cramped. I was like, okay, this is new. I was like, but maybe it's just because I'm drinking a lot of it, and maybe it's just because I'm drawn to it. But I was like, okay. I was like, well, this is starting to do something. Fast forward a year and a half later on this water. So we talked about earlier about having not the greatest eyesight. So I've been going to the same eye doctor for 20 years. And when I went for my checkup this last time, they do the little eye swatches, whatever, just kind of like one or
yeah.
two, right? And he started doing it. My eye doctor started doing it, and he's like, "What are you doing different?" I was like, "Oh shoot, he's gonna tell me like my eyesight got like 10 times worse." I was just like, I don't know. Why are you asking? He's like, "Just what are you doing?" I was like, honestly, the only thing I changed was the water that I'm drinking, and I'm taking turmeric every day. The turmeric that it's grown with, which is this water. And he's like, "That's insane." He's like, "I've never seen anything like this," but he said, "Your eyesight, like the inflammation within your eyes went down 20%. I was like, he's like, "Do you feel when you are looking around it with your contacts, with your glasses, that things are a little bit more clear?" I was like, "Well, things look a little bit more crispy, like
Crispy.
things will look a little bit more crispy." And he's like, "That's all you did? That's all you changed was your water?" I was like, "What kind of water is it?" Then we started lightly talking about it, but those would be like my own personal testimonials that stood out to me when it comes to recovery, like what you're asking for jujitsu. Like, if you guys aren't in martial art, like, it is tough. It is so much fun, so worthwhile. You learn so much about yourself. But as we get older, we tend to need to recover better.
You're
And
29. Okay, don't start with that
I'm
crap.
29,
Don't
but
start with that crap.
sometimes I'm just saying my body before, didn't feel the greatest with recovery. But
No, this is the whole part of you saying as we get older. Don't even start that
oh
yet.
goodness,
The recovery, that's in the age. That's in the age.
it's something that we all long for and strive for, is the best recovery when it comes to like working out hard, doing jujitsu hard, like all these things. And so, with what I notice when it comes to drinking the water with my recovery, is that I'm able to recover faster. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that it develops my skills quicker, like I would like it to, but that's on me. The water just allows me to move a lot better than I feel like I would if I wasn't on this water. Have I noticed a drastic difference? I notice a drastic difference with my sleep recovery when it comes to that. I don't feel as tight when it comes to my knees. I just found out that my biological family on my dad's side has a lot of issues with their knees. I said, oh no. I'm like, no, I don't want it to happen to me. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing? Because before my knees would pop a lot. And drinking this water, I kid you not, like there's a lot of circulation going on there. I'm like, let me just do the work that it takes to strengthen my knees. And so I'll walk backwards on a treadmill or go like walk backwards going up a hill. But it just helps with the circulation of my body. I can feel it. I can see it on my skin. My skin has never been this clear consistently
It's
throughout
pretty
my
clear.
life. It's pretty clear.
I mean, it's absolutely clear. When I say pretty clear, it almost like you're wearing makeup, but you're not wearing makeup, are you?
I just like a little bit,
A little something,
just a
you
little
know.
something, but nothing crazy. Like I can't cake it on. That's just not my style. But there's a spray. The machine produces something called a 6.0 beauty spray. So for me, health hacks for beauty, I'm not really one to do Botox or again, not hating on anybody who does that, but that's just not for me. So I was like, how can I keep it so simple?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I did, was just spray water on my face. There's one that produces something called the 6.0 beauty spray, which it matches the pH of our skin. So the first time that you try it, it actually makes your skin a little tingly
Mm-hmm.
because it's tightening your skin. I use it every single day on my face in the morning time, in between. And that's been super helpful and beneficial when it comes to the beauty glow of the skin.
The beauty glow.
The beauty glow of the skin.
When you said that, it reminds me of this rapper named Glorilla. Have you heard of that? Her name, Glorilla?
I think so.
She has a song that goes, "Get 'em, Glow," and she's bragging about how fabulous she is. She is, but the chorus they keep going, "Get 'em, Glow," because I don't know.
You
Her
have
name
to
is Glow.
share it with me.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. No, that sounds like definitely there was something I was going to ask you too, because when you were talking, I'm trying not to interrupt because
Yeah.
I don't want to break your train of thought. But with the damn, and I can't even remember. I can't remember. Oh, knees.
Knees.
With your knees, yeah. I'm pretty sure oxidative stress and all that stuff is going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your knee hurting? If you don't mind me asking.
Mm.
Is it the sides, like the sides of your knees? They feel like sometimes they're just too tight in there.
Behind my knee, like the tendons right there. Yeah.
Oh.
And like that's where I feel it sometimes.
Okay, that might be meniscus.
Those.
I'm the knee whisperer. But if one thing that helps keeps your knees, because you need a certain level of like natural elasticity in there.
Yeah.
You don't want it too tight. That exercise where you sit in the machine and you open your legs. Do you do those?
Not as much anymore.
You got to do. I kid you not. Do that for like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
You'll notice relief in your knees, because it's you have the gluteus maximus, right? Your butt. There's maximus, medius, and minimus. You're working the medius, and I learned this from that guy, knees over toes guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What it does is it connects to your IT band, which goes to your knees. Or am I saying IT or TI? One of the two. That band, and it goes to your knees. And what happens is when that muscle starts getting weak on the side, there's an imbalance, and you feel it in your knees. And you can actually pop your knees or injure your knees. And that's how I keep my knees healthy, believe it or not, is that exercise. Mm-hmm. And some of the knees over toe stuff with the heels, but the knees itself, that stability or the achiness in there, it went away after about probably 10 days. But I was doing that every other day. Mm-hmm. All you need is even a band. You could get one from freaking Nordstrom Rack. Like sometimes you go there and there's like that exercise equipment there with little dumbbells, those little rubber things. You just 20 reps, just get them in. I'm watching, whatever I'm watching on TV, and if I am watching TV, whatever, internet working, and I'll be doing it. And I kid you not, I'll send you a video on it. Yeah.
So many videos to send me after
I know
this.
I am. You're gonna be loaded like, God, okay, got it. I'm not talking to you about anything else because you're gonna send me a video on it. Because I feel like I'm butchering it. So this machine that you speak of, how would someone get it? Or I would prefer, because they're learning it from you,
right,
to contact you. Yeah. So how could someone contact you, learn more about hydrogenated water. Learn more about this machine that you're selling, and all the benefits and so forth. Can you share that information?
Yeah, so you can follow me on social media. So type in Heather Renee Barber on Instagram, on Facebook.
You need to spell that out, dude.
Heather Renee Barber. Okay.
You said
So
it so fast.
for Instagram, my name right now on there is Heatha12. So it's HEETHA 12. So that's my
Okay,
Instagram.
hold on. You got to say it slower because
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Wait, say it again.
HEETHA 12.
Okay, that's almost Heather.
That's almost Heather.
Okay, 12. That's on IG.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's on IG. I'm also on Facebook. So that is my full name. So Heather Renee Barber.
Barba.
Barba. And my middle name is spelled Renee.
Renee. Okay. All right. So
I would
people
say
can find you.
Instagram is the best
So
place, or TikTok.
So if someone contacts you regarding this, you're open just to communicate and to share, your knowledge, things like that on water and so forth.
It depends. If you're curious when it comes to just knowing a little bit more about water, I know we kind of briefly touched on it here, but just to understand like what it is that you're like, say I'm talking to this person, like what you're particularly looking for, because maybe what I have on this end isn't even something that's for you.
Got it.
So just understanding like what your preferences are, what you're looking for when it comes to your health. Maybe you're good, and maybe you're just curious and want to know a little bit more. Then I'm just the connecting piece. Let me show you the information of what's out there, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not like a medical professional. I can't say that like with this water, it's healing and all these things, because also where do we live within the U.S.? But again, that could be a road that we could go down on another podcast. But I can show you what it's done for the people around me. I can show you what it's done for myself. I can share that with you. I can share this information of like actual research articles published on PubMed. So I'll give like a little spoiler, like on PubMed, if you look up electrolytes reduced water, there is thousands of articles supporting this water and its health benefits. For me, one of the things that stood out to me was cancer, because that's what I was in tune to seeing. And so if you are curious when it comes to your health, when it comes to your wealth, when it comes to just connecting with someone who's going to be very genuine and not try to sell you up front, I really do genuinely care and want to know what it is that you're looking for, because I might not be the person to help you, but we can at least try, right?
Yeah.
So you can connect to me through Instagram. You can connect with me through Facebook. You can connect with me through TikTok. I tend to do a lot of lives on TikTok. So if you want to see like almost like a full demo presentation, I tend to do stuff on there, be very engaging, and just have it be something that we learn with as a community.
How can they find you on TikTok? Do you got some long, elaborate name?
I think it's just
Like Heather Renee Barber,
what?
2010, 56 exclamation point question mark.
That's actually a great question. I think it's just my name. I honestly haven't checked. So that's a good starting point of just understanding. But I think Instagram would probably be the best.
Okay, what
because-
I'll do is with this episode and all the social media posts, I'm going to put your contact information, your social media things, and tag you also. So
Beautiful.
yeah, if they want to talk to you about that, and I think it's very beneficial. I'm an advocate, and that's what we were kind of vibing. It was like a coincidence. We both just kind of were talking about. I don't even know how it came up. And
I don't either.
Yeah, but you definitely got to try snorting it.
Interesting. Well, I guess I mean, can't knock it till I try it, right? I've done crazier things in my life, so let's go.
I didn't mean to say snort. I'm being dumb, but there's actually a comedian named Nick Swartzen, and he kind of opened up about being addicted to cocaine.
Oh gosh.
But he talks about the excuses he used to make. And you know who Nick Swartzen is?
I don't.
He used to be on an old TV show called Reno 911.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he used to be like a cop. And I think he plays like I don't know which one cop he plays on there. But he said, man, his excuses got to the point they're so ridiculous. He used to tell people, no. I'm not addicted to cocaine. I just like how it smells. I just, and I'm just, the way he was saying it was making me laugh, because he's such an idiot. But yeah, he's like how it smells. But yeah, okay. So, well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for opening up about your life and sharing. You know, being vulnerable and sharing. Your journey. Um, I'm excited about putting this podcast up and see what you. I know for me at least, I get messages and people are like, oh my god, and they start asking me stuff, and if
Mm-hmm.
so, I'll try to forward them to you, or you'll be tagged. You might get them. I'm not sure. It's weird. The internet. I mean, social media, the algorithm. But again, thank you for taking your time out of your day. I offered you compensation. Like, no, it still stands. If you ever need anything or want anything, or if, my buddy Steve, he's the landlord of this building.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he owns a restaurant over here. It's called Project Social. It's in Dana Point. There's a thing called a Hobie Bowl. It's amazing.
Hmm.
So I was gonna, so whatever. Offer still stands if you ever change your mind, and you're always welcome to come back on if you got something else you want to share, if you just want to chat, or had an epiphany. Go, you know what, man? I got this message I really want to get out.
Yeah.
You're always welcome.
I feel like this won't be the last time,
Me too.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. But I'm excited to have this just be shared
Yeah.
with people, just hearing a little bit about you, hearing a little bit about me. I mean, you shared things on here that people have never heard you say before that you just said. And me too. I don't think I've ever dove in this deep into just sharing a little bit of my story, a little bit about what I do and how it all ties together. So thank you so much for inviting me onto your space
No,
because
thank
this
you
was
for
awesome.
coming. Yeah, no, you're welcome. Well, all right. Thanks.
All right.